everyone. Welcome to the University of Lincoln. It's fabulous to see you all. I wish you were here on campus. I'm here on the University of Lincoln campus, and we've got a fabulous virtual open day planned for you. My name's Ellie. I'll be running through the schedule in a moment, but first, let me introduce my co-hosts. Here, even always, is my co-host Emma. Emma, hi, where are you?
I'm on campus and I am in the Isaac Newton Lecture Theatre, and normally and hopefully very soon we will be able to introduce you all here. This is the home to our computing, maths, physics and engineering schools. So very excited to be here.
It is, and although we're here virtually, there are lots of people here physically today, aren't there, Emma?
There are. So today we've got lots of academics for your subject sessions, and although it's virtual, they're actually here on campus. So they are trying to give you as real an opportunity and experience as possible. So please get ready with your questions and tell us where you're from this morning.
Yeah, good point. Say hi, tell us who you are and where you're from. As I say, I'm Ellie, I'm in Lincoln. So please tell us who you are and where you're from in the chat. And beneath me is our fabulous alumni and producer, Darren. Darren, tell people how to talk to us.
Hi, morning everyone. So if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, simply just go to the comment sections and you can say hello there or ask a question or just tell us where you are. Another thing you could do as well is tell us what course you're hoping to apply for or have applied for, because I'll be back later with a student of ours, Jay, and we're going to be talking all about student life at university and hopefully making some connections. So please tell us your course as well as saying hello and telling us where you're from. And if you're watching on the website, just click through to the link and you'll go straight to YouTube where you can talk to us there.
Thank you, Darren. The University of Lincoln is a fantastic university. We're Modern University of the Year this year, but we're also located in an absolutely beautiful and amazing city. And if you're wondering who Mr. Mission Impossible is, down here, our own Tom Cruise, Ryan, hi, where are you?
I wouldn't quite go that far, Ellie, but thank you for the introduction. And so I'm up in the Bailgate area, and so I'll be showing you around the city of Lincoln later, which I really look forward to. But I'll pass back to Emma and Ellie.
Thank you, Ryan. It's so good to see everyone here. So we've got lots of physical tours going on today. So if you're bored of doing everything virtually, you can register to come and join us for a physical tour. We've had tours going on for the last couple of weeks, and those have been really exciting, haven't they, Emma?
They have, yeah. So you can come with one family member because we want potential students, as many as we can get onto campus. And as you know, at the moment, there are a few restrictions still hanging about, so we can't have massive groups like we would like. So it gives you a really nice individual experience. But yeah, they're running today, they're running all next week, right up to every single day, really, until the 25th of June. And then we're having, hopefully, fingers crossed, slightly larger sort of informal sort of type open days after that.
That's good. And we are planning for our open days on the 9th and 10th of July. Those will be fabulous. They're hugely in demand. But if you want to put your name down to come, you can on our website. So just register to attend. And those are going to be fabulous festival days where you can experience the campus and city of the University of Lincoln for yourself. And we are really unique because we're a campus university. So you live and study on the campus, but the campus is right in the heart of the city. And it is a wonderful city. And so it seems a very apposite time to say goodbye to Darren. Thank you for being our wonderful producer. And let's go and meet Ryan and see the Bailgate area.
Before we do that, Ellie, do you think we ought to just give a bit of a quick run through of the agenda this morning for the next hour?
Emma, that's why you're the best co-host in the world. Let's do that thing. Good point.
So a very quick summary of what you will expect in the next hour. Obviously, we're going to see the city with Ryan, the amazing city of Lincoln. And then we're going to meet Dr. Craig Marsh, who is the head of our Lincoln International Business School, and have a quick chat with him as to why you would choose Lincoln or why you would choose the university. Then we're going to flip and go to Amina, who is part part of our amazing Lincoln Students' Union, and she can tell you all about the fun things that students do here at Lincoln. And then we're going to go and meet Tiffany, who is in one of our student accommodation blocks at the moment, our brand new St Mark's. And you ask any questions that you have about student accommodation. Then we're going to see Rebecca, who is going to talk about all the support that students have. So from our student wellbeing department. And finally, we will go and you can ask Emma, another Emma, not me, about the admissions process. And if you've got any questions that you're not quite sure about, how do you apply to university, then Emma is the lady that can help you from that. And then Darren will be back with our amazing history student, Jay. And Jay will tell you all about student life because he's a current student here. And very finally, at 11:25, Gareth will tell you about the personal statement. But at 11:15, that is when you can scroll down on the website, flick in to whichever subject you're interested in and find out about the course that you're interested in.
Thank you, Emma.
Hello.
Thank you. I get to do my favourite bit now because I get to say hello to Menica, hello to Cynthia, who's in the Netherlands, hello to Karen from Tyne and Wear, hello Ferraris, hello Naveen. Now, Naveen, good afternoon in India, but I know you joined us at our live lounge session this week, so thank you very much. We do live lounge sessions every week, and on Tuesday coming up, we've got a prize giving with Dame Carol Ann Duffy, the previous poet laureate. Those are virtual, so if you love English, join us at 5 o'clock UK time and ask your questions to Dame Carol Ann Duffy. She's amazing. We do events every single week, but Naveen, it's really nice to see you again. I hope you're feeling okay. I hope you're having a super afternoon, and any questions you have. Oh, and Sembi, hi from Uganda in Africa. What's the weather like there? It is boiling here in Lincoln. I wonder what it's like over in Africa. Do tell us. Macy, what's it like in Leicester? Sophia, hi in Norwich. Katie Mitchell, good morning. How are you? Charlotte, also in Leicestershire. So just down the road, about an hour away, although I understand there's a traffic jam on the A46 this morning. So it's not as easy as normal to get to Lincoln. Keep your hellos coming in, Molly from Norwich, and we'll say hello to you later. And first, now, Emma, am I right? We are finally going to...
We are now, yes. The sun's come out for you now, Ryan.
Oh, Ryan, you're looking fabulous there. Remember to unmute because you've been really good and you've been muted. And I'd ask anyone to guess the building that Ryan is standing in front of. And if you can tell me what age it is, I will be really, really impressed. But Ryan, where are you?
Yes, thank you, Ellie. Welcome, everyone. So, I'm stood outside the amazing Lincoln Cathedral. And as Emma just said, obviously, you joined us at such a good time because the sun's literally just poked out from behind the cloud. But on a day like today, it's absolutely gorgeous, as you can see. But yeah, so the cathedral there, and then obviously we'll come through this little archway bit here. And it's really fun, like, obviously walking through Lincoln today, you can really sort of feel the city starting to come alive. Obviously the sun's going to be out today, so it's obviously going to be a busy day for a lot of people. But so as I come down here, as you can see, we also have the castle, which is just over there. And then obviously behind me, we still have the cathedral there. And then I will just turn down here. And obviously you can see Steep Hill, which is just there. So, but I will just pass back to Emma because she will, or Ellie, should I say, she will give us some fun facts probably about all of the things.
I do get really excited about fun facts. I'll come to you in 1 minute, Emma. I'm guessing Emma is going to say exactly what I was going to say, which is hi to Terry Smith, whose daughter is here in Lincoln, and he's saying she loved her time with us. Hi, Terry. Thanks very much for joining us. I'm sure you will have visited many times and been to the cathedral and some of those beautiful tea rooms. And Terry, you can look forward to graduation with us. Emma, your favourite time of the year?
It really is, yeah. So just as a The fun thing for me that happens up in that cathedral area is our graduation. So our students graduate in Lincoln Cathedral, which is an incredible experience. And we gown up and we have photos and we have celebration tent in the castle. So it's just that bit where Ryan is just a mass with our graduands and graduates around September time. So it's just the most incredible, and I will still argue with anybody that must be probably the best graduation you could possibly have.
And it's not far from where we are now, is it, Emma?
It isn't, and I think that's what we will find as Ryan probably walks down Steep Hill, that actually we are so close in Lincoln. It's such a unique city. It's a mix of old and new, and you know, there is something for everybody, I think is very fair to say.
Now, before Ryan does run down the hill, I'm going to say that cathedral, just in case you were wondering, built in 1072, it was the tallest building in the world, even taller than the Great Pyramid, right up until 1548. And that was because it had wooden spires, the same height as the spires you can see on top. So pilgrims who traveled to Lincoln from all around the world could literally see Lincoln Cathedral from almost anywhere in the distance around. You'll see as Ryan goes down Steep Hill is one of the steepest streets in the whole of the UK. Lincoln is also, our other claim to fame is that we're one of the friendliest cities in the UK, according to the Eden Project. And I have to admit, I moved up here from Oxford and I was blown away by the welcome that I got. Emma, you've always lived here, but it is a really friendly city.
I have, yeah. So I'm born and bred Lincoln, but that's not to say, that's just because it's the most beautiful city, and why would you want to live anywhere else, really? It's just incredible, and a really student-friendly city as well. So, you know, we really welcome the students here at Lincoln.
And that is a Norman castle as well. And it's probably time to get Ryan to walk down the hill a little bit. Lincoln, really large trade in medieval times. Prior to that, it was a Roman retirement village, still lots of Roman ruins all across the city. You'll see the pub there called the Magna Carta, and we have one of the 4 copies of the Magna Carta in Lincoln Castle, sat next to the Charter of the Forest. So if you're a law student, you will truly understand the significance of that and how lucky we are to have that. Emma, it's so great to go shopping down here, isn't it?
It is. Obviously, if you've ever watched any of these virtual open days before, you'll know that I love a bit of shopping. And along this very steep hill that Ryan is fortunately walking down, and as Imogen says, not walking up, because it is quite tough walking up. There are lots of stops and lots of windows and lots of shops that you can just nip in to sort of break that hill up. So yeah, there's loads of tea rooms, very individual sort of like tea shops, wine shops. There's sort of individual fashion shops. So there's all sorts of things as you go up and down Steep Hill to sort of enjoy and break the gradient of that hill.
And Sembi has told us it's very hot in Uganda today, and he's very impressed by our cathedral. It is beautiful, Sembi. I hope you get to join us here this October or next October and see it for yourself. Hello, Ravi Sharma. Thank you for joining us. And also hello to our student ambassador, Connor, who's also running physical campus tours today. And I think Ryan is coming up to one of my favorite areas. I always say that going up to the top of the hill in Lincoln is like going to Middle Earth. If you love literature, you'll know exactly what I mean. But here is what I always call the Narnia lamppost. So changing books completely. I always think Mr. Tumnus is going to step out at this point. Ryan, tell us whereabouts you are and what's going on.
Yeah, so I'm obviously halfway down Steep Hill now. So yeah, it's just obviously you can see so many people sort of walking about today, and as Emma said, sort of there's just so many little tea rooms, so many little shops that you can just go in, and they've just got so many little unique things. And this will probably be the first place that your parents want to visit with you when you come here. So yeah, it's good that we're showing you around today. And obviously we've said earlier how close the campus is, and it's kind of just over in that direction there. So that's where we'll be heading now. So yeah, we shall carry on the journey.
Thank you,
I
Ryan.
agree, Imogen. It is a halfway break.
It is. And the thing about Lincoln being a friendly city, 1 in 5 people in Lincoln is a student. So there is so much to do for students. I mean, I'm too old to do it. And I never did that much anyway. But Emma, there is so much, isn't there?
There is. So we've got the beauty of lots of eating places. And if one of our other alumni was here this morning, he'd be telling you all about the eateries. So we've got, as we reach down to the Brayford, we've got all of the sort of big chains like TGI Fridays, Nando's, Wagamama's, all of those things that you would expect in a sort of student city. But not only that, we've got an amazing Odeon, which is literally a second away from the campus. We've got sort of individual sort of bars, if that's what you like. We've got gaming. We've got a cat cafe. We've got sort of gaming sort of rooms, which I have no idea what they do, but well, obviously you play games. But there's sort of escape rooms in Lincoln. There's a lot of green space as well if you want to go walking out and about, which are literally sort of 20-minute walk away. So we've got Hotsend Park, Booton Park, beautiful sort of space that can give you within sort of 10-minute walk from the campus as well. So the city has something for everybody, I think it's fair to say. There's a buzz, but there's also a bit of quiet space as well.
And one of the really exciting things that they announced yesterday is that our Christmas market is planning to come back this year. Sadly, it was cancelled last year. The Christmas market in Lincoln brings around about 270,000 people into the city the first weekend in December every year. And it's in that Bellgate earlier. There's also a medieval building, the Bishop's Palace, and they have a medieval market in there. It is beautiful. It always snows. It's magical. You can go to the cathedral for evensong, come out, they light the Christmas tree, then the market opens and you have mead and sausages generally. It is fabulous, isn't it, Emma?
Yeah, it really is. It's one of my favourite times. It's always around my birthday, actually. So it's always, my family always have to come with me. And it's always nice. Any students, student ambassadors that work with us, they always sort of get their parents often come up that weekend. It's always a good one to put in your calendar. So if there are any parents watching, then get that weekend and get your hotel booked that first weekend in December, because it is well worth a visit to Lincoln to sort of experience it. So we're very excited about that. I think Ryan is passing a lot of the sort of individual sort of clothes shops in the sort of top end of the high street. So he's now sort of reaching down into the actual high street of Lincoln. So he's literally only about 5 minutes away, I think, from sort of the point of reaching the Brayford pool almost, isn't he?
Yes. And I mean, the thing about Lincoln is we are a fantastic academic university. We have brilliant student satisfaction. I think we were top 20 in student satisfaction that was published this week. And also, I think choosing a university is really difficult, you know, and Lincoln isn't for everyone. You know, you've got to decide where you want to live, what kind of environment you want to have. And what we try and do at these open days is try and give you as much as a feel as we can for what it's like to live and to study and work as well in Lincoln, because there was a question earlier, is it possible to work in Lincoln whilst you're studying? So Emma, what's your view on that?
Oh, it absolutely is. We have the most amazing careers service here at Lincoln. They're headed up by the incredible Linda, and the team there can sort of find you sort of part-time job opportunities while you're here at Lincoln and beyond your time here at Lincoln. And they help you and get you ready for employability. So whatever course you're doing, that team you need to connect with in year one. However, there are part-time sort of jobs around Lincoln. There's also, as you will see, the student ambassadors on the chat set today and delivering the campus tours today. There's an opportunity to be a student ambassador and work with us and sort of sell the university almost, but it's not a sales job because it's just such an amazing university. So it's just telling your experience. But there's lots of part-time jobs. And it's a really good question to ask, really, because it is part of student life, I think.
And I'm just going to say a massive hello to Harriet Main, who's just come into the chat. She's one of our graduates, so another alumni who's worked with us. And hi, Harriet, it's really nice to see you. Sanjita asked about accommodation, but I can see someone's already answered that. And this is a good point to stop and look at the beautiful stone bow. And again, if you're a student of history, you'll be interested to know that Henry VIII stayed here when he visited the city, I understand. But Ryan, tell us, what's your view of the city? What's your favourite thing to do in Lincoln?
Yeah, thank you, Ellie. Yeah, as Emma's referred to, really, there is just something to do for absolutely everyone. Like, if you enjoy going on nights out or going to bars or going to nice restaurants, there's so much to do. But at the same time, if you just want to go and relax at a park, go for a walk, go for a cycle, or go to the seaside, there's also that as well. So in my opinion, there's just, a lot for everyone, really. But so the stone bow's there. Obviously, the sun's shining, so it's absolutely gorgeous. We normally make reference to the Primark queue. It's not too busy today, but we'll probably move on.
That's because me and Emma haven't got out there yet. We'll be out there in that queue.
I think we're on there now.
Oh, it does look good out there. I mean, it's so nice. There's such a buzz on campus. We've still got most of our students on campus. And wandering around the campus this morning, there's lots of students out and about, and I'm sure by lunchtime, we're really lucky at Lincoln. We've got loads and loads of outdoor space. We have a huge campus, so we've put up a teepee. We've created lots of outdoor catering spaces. We've got benches and heaters all the way down outside our SU, which you'll see later on. And so it's a really buzzy place to be at the moment, isn't it? Before I hand over to Emma, this is one of my favorite places in Lincoln. This is Stokes Coffee House. It's 120 years old. It's been serving the best coffee in the world for 120 years. I absolutely love it there. They do gluten-free breakfast. They do gluten-free lunch as well, but I love their gluten-free breakfast. And Emma, did you want to say anything about it?
It's just an amazing place. I mean, that's the original Stokes coffee. You can purchase Stokes coffee. So if you want a taste of Lincoln, do it. And they've also got up in our up where Ryan was, up at the top of the hill, they've also got an amazing coffee house with outdoor space as well in what is called our lawns, the lawns sort of area. And that's where their head office is now. But it is sort of a real landmark of Lincoln, Stokes coffee. So look it up. It's well worth looking at. It's amazing coffee. I'm a big coffee drinker and I love it.
Yeah, I am too, I'm afraid. Ryan's just gone down the glory hole. This is the shortcut through to the uni. But before I go, Sophia, I'm really glad to hear your dad is gluten-free. There is loads of places to eat that are gluten-free in Lincoln. It is, I love it. I can't recommend food. If you like food, Lincoln is for you. I mean, we are the Garden of England, something like, I'm going to get this wrong, but a massive number of turkeys and potatoes come from Lincolnshire. And before I hand back to Emma, I'm just going to say hi, Imogen Setter. I really wish you would play music outside Stokes at the moment, because we'd love to hear you. You're one of our students, and we've got a summer festival that we're doing for students. Emma and I are working on it at the moment, and we've got an exciting headliner planned. So Imogen, if you want to come and support our headliner with your music, please just DM us on any of our university channels and we'll be in touch, and it would be great to involve you.
That would be amazing to do that, because it's open for students and alumni. So I know we've got a few alumni on the chat this morning and watching us. So that would be amazing to do that and come back and see the campus, because it has changed, certainly changed over lockdown as well. Ryan is coming now on to as you will see, there was a little bit of water as he sort of came down there, and he has now reached the Brayford Pool. So you will know, if you've looked at our website, that picture might be fairly familiar. And that's because he's sort of pretty much reached to the campus this morning. And you will see where that red sort of Brayford Bell is. That's the building that Ellie is in. I'm sort of a bit beyond that, but we have reached the campus, and I think it's very clear to sort of see how quickly you can get from one end of Lincoln to the other there.
And we didn't mention the train station, but Ryan did walk about just by the turning for the train station earlier. It's about 5-10 minutes walk from the campus. So you can literally walk from your accommodation on campus to the train station and go anywhere in the country. So we're really clear. You don't need a bike. You don't need a car. There's no bus journeys, no taxi journeys late at night. It's a very easy, very safe place to be a student, really. And I think that's really important. And a lot of parents really, really appreciate, and a lot of young people appreciate that, because it saves a lot of money, doesn't it, Ems?
It certainly does. It certainly does. And it's just, there's absolutely no need for anything other than just walking in Lincoln. There really isn't. And I'm lazy, but it really doesn't. It's more hassle to get in and out of a car than it is to walk. It really is.
And Varsha's summed up, I think, how we all feel about it. It's magnificent. And Ryan, we're going to have to leave you in a minute, but we can tell that you're one of our amazing film and media alumni, because every single shot that you framed has been beautiful. And even now, as you're wandering along, we can see the cathedral and the castle behind you and the water that the accommodation overlooks. Ryan, is there any top tips or anything you'd like to say to anyone watching before we say goodbye?
I would definitely just say, obviously, come and visit. The city's amazing. It sounds cliche, but you really will fall in love with it. The place is so friendly. There's so much to do. I just had such an amazing time here studying for 4 years. I met some incredible people, and I'd do it all over again if I could. So yeah, that's my recommendation and my top tips, really. So yeah.
Thanks, Ryan. I have to say, everyone else said before that if only we weren't so old, we would love to go back and do it. It's just fabulous, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah, it's absolutely. That is the engine shed. And we will be meeting Amina there in a few moments. So that's just to sort of, Ryan has pitched that in for us to talk about. Thank you, Ryan. Shall we just pick up a couple of questions, Ellie? So there's Molly and Millie are both asking about sort of accommodation and sort of accommodation that is available with car parking. There are limited spaces for cars. As we've said, obviously you wouldn't need them, but there are certain courses, and paramedics would be one of them, where you will have placement. So I can understand why you're asking that, but the amazing accommodation team will respond to you as to where they are. But don't panic. We've got accommodation offers for whatever sort of budget or what requirements that you require.
And on that note, we're going to say goodbye to Ryan. Ryan, you are a god. Now this is commitment. What Ryan's done is he's run up what's called the Venus Flytrap Bridge. And from here, you get one of the best views of the campus, of the cathedral, of the whole city. It is quite a walk. Ryan, do you want to tell us what you're showing us?
Yeah, so thank you, Ellie. So just quickly before we finish, obviously behind me here, we've got the amazing Students' Union, which I spent a lot of time there watching sports and sort of sitting with my friends. And then we've got the amazing library just there as well, which obviously I spent lots of time there too, doing lots of work.
Obviously, yes.
But yeah, and we've obviously got a lot of other buildings here. Obviously the Sarah Swift, which is our health courses and stuff. But yeah, as you say, it's amazing sort of looking up here on a day like today. But yeah, I'll pass back to you.
That was a brilliant live broadcast. Thank you so much, Ryan. It looks amazing. And that engine shed's got 3,000 capacity, as I'm sure they'll tell us. And there's some really exciting things planned for Freshers Week. So, Ryan, been wonderful to spend time with you. I'll see you later on. You have a nice morning.
See you soon. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Ryan. See you later.
And it's time to welcome one of my other favourite colleagues. I have many favourite colleagues here at the University of Lincoln. It's a fantastic place to be. But our Pro Vice Chancellor, our head of the Lincoln International Business School, Dr. Craig Marsh. Woo!
Good morning, Ellie. How are you doing? Morning, Emma.
I'm really glad to see you, Craig. I'm just going to, because you'll be too modest to say this. Craig is an expert in human resource management, leadership, organizational theory. He's worked in business. He's worked in education. He's an entrepreneur. He's led the Lincoln Business School to be something really unique and interesting and different. And I do love working with Craig. So, Craig, tell us a bit about you and the business school and all the exciting things that are going on.
Well, it's all downhill there from that introduction, I think, Ellie. So thank you so much for that. And my cheeks are blushing with that intro. So it's great to be here, actually, back on campus again. Here I am in the Harvard Lecture Theatre at the heart of the business school. It's one of the places we do our, particularly our executive courses as well. And some of our presentations, when students are giving their presentations, it's a great amphitheatre for that kind of work. I'm actually a little jealous that I wasn't walking around with Ryan. It's such a gorgeous day out there, isn't it? Isn't it wonderful to see the city and the campus in such a beautiful light? So I'll be in a few minutes. For those who are attending, who are interested in studying business at the University of Lincoln, I'll be hosting a roundtable in here actually with my senior academic colleagues from the business school, but actually equally importantly, a couple of our students who can really tell what it's about to study business here at the University of Lincoln. Ellie?
Oh, thanks, Craig. And, we've talked a lot about the city and what it's like, what it feels like to be a student, but academically, what's the credibility of the University of Lincoln, Craig? Well,
it's growing, and this is a crucial question for our potential students, isn't it? And so we're now, we really are in the top division of universities in the UK. The academic standards we apply are really stringent, but I think probably crucially, and the business school is a good example of that, what we really concentrate on is those important transferable skills that all organizations are now looking for from our students. So you're combining the academic rigor of our programs, regardless of the subject, with that really intense focus, and we've heard a bit about it this morning already, on developing the skills that employers are looking for. And we're constantly exposing our students to employers, to the opportunity to work in companies. And it's probably worth mentioning, actually, that we are the Lincoln International Business School. And what we spend a lot of time thinking about and working with our students is developing global citizenship. So the opportunities don't just extend to the UK. We think of all of our students, regardless of where they're from, as global students. So you have many opportunities now to be able to study abroad, to be able to do exchanges, to be obviously in regular contact with international students, to be developing your cross-cultural studies, even if it's learning to cook different foods from around the world. And that's a really important part of the experience you're gaining here. And we've already talked about the wonderful support the university offers, but that's been recognised externally. And I think you mentioned, Ellie, and I'm really proud that our tourism programs, for example, are now third in the country for student experience. So it really is a testament to the work that my colleagues do to give that all-rounded experience, as well, of course, as being able to study in such a beautiful place. Ellie?
And in terms of the teaching excellence framework, I know that you're rated gold, or we're rated gold with the #1 modern university according to the Times and Sunday Times. So academically, we are really strong. And why do you think students choose Lincoln, Craig? What do you think it is that's so exciting? Why do so many people want to come here?
I think what it is, Ali, I love the phrase, wherever you're from, you're at home. And I think what it is, we create a real family atmosphere with our students. We work really hard to do that. That's colleagues from across the university. My academic colleagues do that. We feel that we work in partnership with our students and their learning experience. And I use the family advisedly. You come here, and we really, it's a formative time for you. It's often the most important 3 or 4 years of students' lives, and we really make it feel like this is part of your extended family and all of the relationships that entail as a result of that. So that, I think, that friendliness, that approachability, that availability, combined with such a wonderful environment and all of the support that entails, I think is one of the many things. But that's a crucial thing that defines our students' experience, and our students tell us that, and we're constantly revising and reviewing that as well. It's that's what we do. We're actually still a relatively speaking small, self-contained university, and that helps enormously to generate that kind of vibe, I think.
It really does. And you sort of very, very swiftly sort of mentioned that you were rated, and congratulations to the Travel and Tourism Department, that you are rated sort of third in the country, which is an incredible achievement, with sort of probably about 200 other institutions at least that offer sort of the range of subjects that you do, which covers sort of events management, sports business management, and all sorts of things, not just travel and tourism. Is there anything, what makes Lincoln so unique for the teaching? Is it the staff? Is it the students? Is it the community? What do you feel is that uniqueness?
For when you're teaching here, that's a great question. Actually, I think there are a couple of opportunities that we provide at Lincoln. One, I mean, I mentioned the multicultural experience, and I think that would be really difficult to overestimate just the benefit that brings. And I have over a third of my faculty now come from different parts of the world. We have 80% of the students at the university who are international students come to my college, and that's, I think, characteristic of the university as well. So we are a truly multicultural experience as well, and my faculty really appreciate that. Why do they appreciate that? Because they get exposed to ideas and diversity from right across the world, which then allows them to translate that into the experience that they give our students in the classroom. They can do research with colleagues. We have over 100 partnerships around the world where we have faculty exchanges, we have student exchanges, and those, for our colleagues, all important research exchanges that allow them to develop and publish new ideas and new knowledge which is in a global context, which then of course they bring directly into the classroom. So our classrooms are now decolonized. We are fully open to ideas from all around the world, in business as well as in other parts of the university. So I think that's a really important attraction. And we're also actually, speak it quietly, quite a nice place to work. We actually do treat our colleagues really well. And there's an important reason for that, Emma, because we know that if we treat our colleagues well, then they're going to treat the students well in the classroom. There's a direct effect there. And we know that because we've studied it and evidenced it from employee engagement. So I think that's also a really important aspect.
I think that's a really key point, actually. We have some incredible members of staff across every spectrum of the university, and I think that shows. I think that's why the students have such a great experience, because we're happy in our sort of roles, and I think that comes out with the students. So I think you're absolutely right there, Craig. I think you're absolutely right. Ellie,
we run a happy ship, don't we on the whole?
We do.
I always feel so much more intelligent after a conversation with Craig. I just feel like I've learned something every time I speak to you, Craig. I'm so grateful to you for spending time with me and Emma, because I know you're preparing for a really exciting roundtable subject session. What can the business students look forward to with you later on?
Well, we'll obviously get a bit more of an introduction and a bit more detail to some of the particular offerings in our three departments, so accounting, finance, economics, management, and marketing, tourism, and languages. So my three department heads are here and ready to join us on that. So a little bit of an overview of what students can study in each of those departments, some of the characteristics, what defines those departments, but also, of course, most importantly, from our student ambassadors, what it is in fact like to study here at the College of Business, and some of the opportunities that's created for them, not just in their studies, of course, but all of the other wonderful things they've done while they've been students here.
Oh, Craig, thank you so much for spending time with us. I know you had a traumatic journey in today, so thank you for getting to us. It's time for us to move on. Emma and I always overrun, but it's such a delight to speak to you. Do you have any top tips for students thinking of joining us this year or next year before we say goodbye?
Well, important to remember that we are going to be face-to-face again. We are going to be able to re-establish after a really, really difficult few months for our students and a sort of normal experience for our students again next year. And we're all looking forward to being able to do that.
There is a good question actually for you, Craig, just before we go. Sophia Law says, hi, Sophia, is there any studying abroad opportunities across all courses, or are they only in certain areas of subjects or courses?
In my college now, you can study abroad regardless of the course you're on, and there's a particular opportunity provided called the LIBS 100, which is a free opportunity. It's competitive, but you can apply for it, and it gives you the opportunity to go and study abroad wherever you happen to be. But of course, we also have our study abroad and exchange programs as well built into our programs.
It is a really exciting offer. No other university does this that I'm aware of. I think you fund 100 students to go abroad each year. The 100 best students who apply get to go abroad and experience a different culture. You really are committed to this global university, aren't you?
Indeed, that's one of the many things that we do to give them that global experience. Last year, we took a trip to India. We had a group of students studying there for a week, which I, of course, went with. It's one of the real hardships of my job that I can sometimes accompany the students abroad, and that's the kind of thing, Sophie, that we offer. So yes, you'll have that opportunity if you come study with us.
Craig, thank you so much. We'll say goodbye to Craig, and I'll get Emma to introduce our very next guest.
See you later.
Thanks very much, Craig. Thanks very much.
Not at all.
So our next guest is Amina. She is amazing, and she is from the Lincoln Students' Union. Morning, Amina.
Morning. Hi, Amina.
Is our president for international. So we're carrying on very much the international theme. So tell us where you are, Amina.
I'm currently in the Students' Union building in the office. So if you see from where I'm standing, right behind, opposite the Students' Union is the University Library.
Yay, open 24/7 at key times of the year, Amina.
Exactly. So if you're a student and you probably enjoy studying at night or during the day, then you know that the library is there to ensure that you can make the most of it at any time.
Oh, Amina, it's lovely to see you. I always love seeing you. You're always so jolly and happy. And I think you're going to be doing a few things with us today. You're going to give us a bit of a tour and show us around, which I'm really excited about. And you're going to tell us a little bit about the Students' Union, what you do, how you get involved, because you're a separate organisation, and also what's going to happen in Freshers. So loads of questions for you. Where do you want to start, Amina?
Right. So as I'm taking you on a tour, I'll try to have this conversation and hopefully we have no internet disruptions. So as you see, as Ellie mentioned earlier, the Student Union is an independent organization that is there to represent students. So we basically have 5 elected student leaders every year who ensure that we work in partnership with the university to enhance your experience. And when it comes to the fun part of university, doing extracurricular activities, looking for volunteering opportunities, that is where we come in. And we do have different venues. We have about 3 venues, and I have just found my way into one, which is called Towers. This is a sports bar right on campus. For all of you who love football, as Euro 2020 is happening now, this is a place to be.
I know Emma's really excited and keeps trying to explain the rules to me. But it's hopeless, isn't it, Emma? I've known you for 10 years. If I haven't got it now, it's probably too late.
Just give up. I've got my sweepstake country won last night, so I'm all right. I'm on a roll.
The weather seems pretty amazing today. You can see some people enjoying kayaking, and we, of course, have a kayaking society as part of the Student Union. So we have over 150 sports and societies for you to choose from. And
it's brilliant, isn't it? Because there's everything, isn't there? There's Quidditch and there's bobsleigh. There's, I mean, Amina, you can do anything, can't you, at uni?
Yeah, anything. The amazing part about the societies that we have here is if you're a student and you probably haven't found something listed on the website, which is basically lincolnsu.com, you can find all the listed societies there. You can start your own society. So do have a look at our website. If the society that you are interested in isn't listed there, then you can start it when you come to campus. And this is just the reception of the Students' Union. As diverse as the university is, you can see welcome written in different languages at the union. So do pop by and try to see if your language is there. If it isn't, just let us know and we can pop something up there for you.
Because how do people make friends when they come to uni, Amina? How did you make friends? What top tips have you got for people?
So for making friends, I would suggest that you try to join societies, join various networks that we have on campus, clubs. It's a good way to meet different people. It's a good way to find people that you share common interests in. It's also a good way to find new things that you aren't used to. So that is one way that I made friends on campus. But I always tell students that I made a mistake of not joining a society early or joining a sports team. So I would recommend that you should do that right on arrival. Don't limit yourself to what you can or can't do. There's so much for you to enjoy as a student in Lincoln, and we organize lots of activities and events. So a good way to also meeting new friends and making new friends is to attend all of these events that we organize. I know Ellie is waiting for me to talk about Freshers Week and
Well,
lots
it's
of
the
exciting.
high point, isn't it? It's the start. It's how you get out and meet people, and the engine shed is so exciting.
Yeah, so that's the engine shed. Very huge event space we have on campus. So we have the biggest night event on campus, which is called Quack. You can be fortunate enough to receive a quack duck if you are attending it all the time. This happens every week, and we are really excited to see the return of quack this year. We do have performances, artists like comedians like is it Russell Kane, Jimmy Carr. We have so much that you can think about. All I would say is do visit our website, and then you find out all of the previous artists that have been here before and the ones that would also be looking forward to join us this year during the welcome week, all things being equal. So I'm just outside the Students' Union building, and these are benches for students to be able to enjoy on campus from the bar. Um, the weather is beautiful today, and all you have to do is come to campus. Another good way of meeting people, sharing a drink. Um, so lots of exciting events. We have other venues like the Swan and the Badge, which is also on campus, but it's on another side of campus. So hopefully one day I will start my tour from there. And
That's a good idea. Now we've got a question which is very relevant to where you're standing. And Millie,
okay.
I will answer your question in a minute. Well, Emma will, but Lucille Ferraris says, is there a drama society?
There is a drama society, and right there is the Lincoln Performing Arts, where most of our drama society and other societies have performances. So yes, we have a drama society, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you join our drama society. Um, just while I'm here, this is the other section of the Students' Union where we have an advice center. So one of the things that the Students' Union does is to provide advices to students. So basically, finance, academic, welfare, housing. If you have any queries or issues, you can pop into the advice center and get supported with all of your queries. And beside the advice center is a cycle high. I don't know if you can see three people sat on a bicycle. So another way of engaging students is to take them on a cycle tour to discover Lincoln. So if you probably don't want a night out and you want a day out activity, then you can be sure to come join us to go on a bike ride or on a walking tour in discovering Lincoln.
It is a beautiful place to be, isn't it? I know there's some wonderful otters not far from where you are now. We're so lucky. We never see the otters, Amina, do we?
No, it's only Bailey. Bailey is the only one who gets the luck of
The
seeing them.
otter whisperer.
And I know in the questions about careers and employability. So just to show you that bit, because I'm standing outside here.
Oh, thank you. And the teepee there as well that we put up, which is fabulous, isn't it, Emma?
It really is. It's incredible. And just quickly, because I know we need to sort of move on, quickly sort of say to Emily and table tennis. There's a table tennis society.
Yeah, there is.
Debating society. I think there is a debating society.
Yeah, definitely.
It certainly is. We've got a huge sort of law society as well, haven't we? I know we've got that. But
yeah, we do. And we recently won the Cathedral Cup. I need to say that out loud. Yes, we did. Yay. So
excellent.
It just tells you how exciting we get involved with sports societies and try to ensure that all of our students are actively engaged in one thing or the other.
That's incredible.
That's so good. It's so good to see you, Amina. As Emma said, we're running late as usual. Any top tips for anyone who's watching, Amina?
Well, all I would say is do not be shy. Go out, make friends, join societies, come to Lincoln. There's so much to do and enjoy in Lincoln.
Oh, you look so beautiful in the sunshine there. I'm so envious.
You like the sunshine, don't you?
I do.
Nearly as much as me. Oh, it's lovely to see you.
All
Goodbye.
right.
Thank
Goodbye.
you. We're now going over to our accommodation. So to do all of those exciting things, you need to stay on campus. So we're going to meet Tiffany now. And Tiffany, you are, tell us where you are. That would be probably best.
Hi everyone. So I'm in St Mark's, which is one of our accommodation blocks, and it's brand new for this year. So I'm in one of the 12-bedroom flats and no one's stayed here yet. It's brand new. So if you've not been to Lincoln before or you're not familiar, I can head over to the window and show you whereabouts it is.
Great, thank you.
Follow me. So everything, as we've said today, is really close. We just saw Amina just over there on campus, just next to the new medical school building as well. So it really is just a 2-minute walk away. You've also got McDonald's, which is a little bit dangerous. And then you've got the Gateway there as well. So that's another one of our accommodations. So yeah, everything is just so close.
That's amazing. What if you were deciding to move into one of our accommodation, because there'll be some people I can see that will choose to commute to Lincoln, some people that will be travelling from, we've got the troopering of the colour on. So it really is hard. And do you want to show us quickly around what you would expect to get in a typical accommodation block?
Yeah, brilliant. So a lot of the accommodation that we have is very similar to this. It's all really modern. It's been built in the last sort of 5 years, so it's really modern. So this one's a 12 bed. So when you come into the living room, you've got a huge 12-seater sofa. So if you do decide to come here, you can all sit around, get to know your flatmates, especially in the first few weeks. You've got a nice coffee table in the middle, so if you're having drinks or food, or if you want a film night, we've got the Queen's birthday parade on at the moment, apparently. You can sit, watch films, TV together. Again, very similar in a lot of the accommodations, you'll have this nice communal space. You've also got nice benches as well, so you can all sit around, have a flat meal together, play some board games. So really lovely space.
That looks amazing. It does look really good.
And we'll head into the kitchen as well.
Oh God, yeah, because what do people need to bring, Tiffany? What are the must brings and must not bring? Because if there's 12 people of you in a flat, you don't really want 12 frying pans.
Yes, very true. So we have some Facebook pages, which are managed pages for the accommodation. So they're going live at the moment. You can connect with your flatmates on there, maybe prepare in advance of what you're going to bring. One thing we find, people bring a lot of toasters. So you don't want to end up with 12 toasters, for example. If not, you can discuss sort of in your first couple of days what you want to bring. But I'll show you what's included. So you've got all your essentials. So oven, you've got your kettle, microwave, bins, and then you've got your fridge freezers over there. So you'll just need to bring things that'll make you comfortable as well from home, and then things like pots, pans, cutlery, cups, anything like that, really.
Yeah, but do try and link up. And is there anywhere to sleep, Tiffany?
Yes, I'll show you the bedroom as well.
Bless you. This is like through the keyhole, isn't it, Emma? Who lives in a house like this?
I'd love to live here.
It's so tidy and clean.
But comfy as well.
Yes, this is it. You've got to make it homely, make it your own. We've sort of put some throws and pillows on the bed just to make it feel a bit more like home. So all the rooms have got a 3/4 bed. And even though the rooms are quite compact, there's loads of storage. You've got storage all the way along the back there. There's also plenty of storage under the bed, which I can show you.
Oh,
so that goes all the way back. Yeah, so handy if you've got suitcases or dirty washing that you want to just tuck away under there. On the other side, we've got this.
Sorry, Tiffany, we've got a really good question from Emily S. You might not know this off the top of your head. You might need to refer us to the website. But Emily S says, how expensive is the accommodation that Tiffany is currently in?
So you can find all of the fees, all the costs on our website if you head onto the accommodation page, and they're all listed on there for you.
There are a range of prices
Yeah.
depending on the accommodation. The older accommodation, although it's still perfectly nice, perfectly lovely, everything's pretty much to the same model, but the older accommodation is cheaper, isn't it? And you can save money by not having an ensuite accommodation. And the reason I say it like that is I desperately tried to convince my stepson that he didn't need ensuite accommodation, but he refused to have any of it, didn't he, Emma? It was
I was the same, but there is something for everyone. So if you are thinking about coming, consider your budget, consider what you need to feel comfortable, whether that's an ensuite, maybe you want to have a look at the studio options in the Gateway and 179, for example. But again, there's a full list of what's included in the different accommodations on the website, so you can have a look at that.
Millie Dennis has asked 3 questions, and I feel really bad, Millie, because I keep writing them down so I can answer them. And you asked, I'm going to answer your first question, which was what kind of career could you go into with finance, a finance degree? The comment I was going to make is there's a statistic that's something like 70% of CEOs have a finance qualification. So it's a good qualification if you like business, but there's lots of choice in there. But her question for you, Tiffany, is what building is this accommodation that you're in at the moment?
So this is St Mark's, so it's just off the St Mark's Retail Park and just across from campus. So it's just on the edge of campus, about a 2-minute walk away. If you're not familiar, there is a map on the website, or we're having open days and visit days coming up, so you can pop into Lincoln and have a look around as well and get a feel for it.
And we really would recommend that. It's so hard to choose a university, and we do really want the students who choose Lincoln to make the right choice. And so do try and come and visit us. We're doing daily tours at the moment. We've got tours going on physically outside as we speak to you, and do try and come and visit us. Make sure Lincoln is for you. It's a wonderful place, I think, but it's important to know if it's for you. And how do I get my student ID so I can book my accommodation, please, says Cameron.
So that'll be sent through to you. If you've not received it already, just drop us an email. Our email address is found on the website, and we can always have a look into that for you if you've not got it just yet.
Now, that's great. Emma, you might have some more questions for Tiffany.
I'm conscious of time. That's the only problem, because the subject talks are about to start. But as you sort of mentioned with the campus tours, the only thing I was sort of going to add is accommodation are very much on board with those campus tours. So the accommodation team are there every day that we have a campus tour to answer any questions in person, and a chance to actually have a look into a similar sort of show flat that Tiffany is in today, isn't there?
And I'm just
that's right.
3 questions very quickly. Beth Harding, at Lincoln, you can stay in student accommodation for the duration of your degree. If you would like to, we have lots of accommodation because we're in the heart of a city, so we built our own accommodation. Sophie asked you, Tiffany, how many students can stay in the accommodation that you're in at this moment?
So in this flat, it's 12. We've got flats of 6 in this block as well. I think in total, there's something like 1,300, 400 beds in total. So we've got plenty of rooms for all the students if you come in this year or next year.
And my very last question for you, Tiffany, is what is your favourite thing to do in Lincoln?
We actually mentioned it earlier, the kayaking. Absolutely love kayaking. So if you, from the Brayford Pool, which is the water that we just saw on the tour earlier, if you head down sort of like 20, 30 minutes west, you'll get to a lovely pub called the Pie Wipe. And there's really nice green spaces around that. But you can actually kayak down there. Obviously, you don't have to. You could walk or hire a bike, but that's a really lovely area.
What a good top tip. And you'll see all the wonderful wildlife, loads of swans, Muscovy ducks, beautiful.
Otters as well.
there are otters. The otters are amazing. And I'm fighting not to talk about seals at the seaside, because otherwise we'll never we're already 4 minutes late. So Tiffany, we'll say thank you so much. You've been amazing. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks so much, Tiffany. That's really helpful. Thank
you.
Thank you. And we've also got one thing that we didn't sort of talk about is if anybody's interested in a postgraduate degree, you may be watching and you are, they've got a special postgraduate block in accommodation this year with all sorts of incentives. So that's worth looking if you are interested in postgraduate. Time to go to meet Rebecca now, Ellie.
Oh, exciting. So, yes, Rebecca is going to talk to us about well-being. Hi, Rebecca. How are you? Where are you?
Hi,
Tell
Ellie.
us
Hi,
about
Anna.
what's going on.
I'm working from home today. I'm not on campus, sadly. Wish I was.
I know. Well, you're normally on campus. So, what kind of things does student well-being do?
Well, it's a big question, Ellie. There's lots of things that student wellbeing offer. If a student has a disability or a medical condition, we're the people to speak to, really. So we can look at reasonable adjustments while you're here at university. Sort of let your academic staff know how they can support you because of that. So there's a whole range of different things. So it could be physical, visual and hearing impairments. It could be specific learning differences. So that's things like dyslexia and mental health as well. So basically any condition we can support with.
That sounds amazing, doesn't it, Emma?
It is that, and I will just add that Rebecca and the wellbeing team are absolutely an amazing team. And Rebecca, if obviously today there's lots of people that might be considering university for this year, or probably a lot for next year, for 2022, there'll be a lot of people that will be getting support currently at school or in their childhood sort of setting. What do they do if they're worried that won't happen when they go to university?
I think it's just best to come and speak to us, really. You can also contact us before you arrive. We do actually have a transitional team that help all students kind of before entry, kind of settle yourselves in, learn more about what kind of support is available to you when you arrive, so that you don't have to have any apprehension or worry about whether that support is going to be in place. So I would always say it's definitely worth getting in touch with us now. If you've got any questions, you can always head to our website. It's dead easy to get in contact with us. But yeah, please don't fret about things like that, because we're here to support you.
And I think it's key to say, Rebecca, isn't it? I know other colleagues in your team would also sort of say that if you're completing your UCAS application, it's always best to sort of tick the box and let you know at the earliest opportunity. And the support is there or not there, isn't it, for you? If you need it, you're there. If you're fine, then it's fine to sort of carry on.
Yeah, of course, we're a student-led service, so obviously we can talk about the support and students can decide whether they want to uptake that or not. But yes, if you do have a disability or medical condition, I do encourage you to tick that box on UCAS, because that means we receive your information and we can get in contact with you now, and as you kind of apply for university. So yeah, definitely encourage you to do that.
But you are there as well. I think anyone who just wants to chat, who's perhaps having a bad day, you're there for them as well, aren't you, Rebecca?
Of course. Essentially, if you've got any queries or worries, it's always best to come and speak to someone. We're readily available Monday to Friday, 12 till 2. We have our drop-in sessions. Come in and speak to someone, usually the quickest way. I understand coming to university sometimes can be, quite a transition from home. So we cover things about sort of homesickness, making friends, sort of getting yourself involved in university life. Always happy to chat about that sort of thing. And we're here throughout your entire degree. So from first, second, third, postgrad, everybody can access our service.
Thank you. Imogen has asked a question. Thank you, Imogen. Is there support for childcare? Imogen, sorry, that moved on my screen then. I have a 4 to an 8 week old child. So is there any sort of support? What sort of advice would you give for Imogen?
So the university don't provide childcare for parents, but obviously if it's something that she wants to talk about, we're more than welcome to kind of discuss that further. Like I said, we understand that students aren't always 18, 19-year-olds arriving at university. Students can be mature students as well. So it's always worth talking to us about what support you anticipate you might need. And like I said, always easier to do that before you arrive as well.
And the most important question actually is, one of the first things you should do is register with a doctor when you go to university. How should people do that, Rebecca?
So there is actually a GP surgery on campus. So that's usually where students tend to register. You can do that as you enrol. I think you get some information come through. So it's dead easy. You fill in your details and then you're registered at that surgery. Definitely worthwhile if you have prescriptions or regular appointments with a doctor. Definitely worth registering with the one on campus. Easy to get to. It's actually located right next to our office in the centre of campus. So yeah.
I'm just briefly looking to see if there's any other questions, Rebecca, on there isn't. I don't think, just for you. So I was just checking so that we didn't miss anything. Is there, obviously our time is very limited with you. I'm really sorry about that, because I'm really keen that people get as much information now, because our subject talks are starting in 10 minutes at 11:15. So I'm conscious that people have a chance to go there. What would your top tip be to anybody that is applying to university right now?
I would say just to enjoy it, you know, go for the courses that you want to do. If you are apprehensive or worried about anything when you arrive, or you've got any questions, queries, anything like that, come and speak to us. Understand where we are and who we are, and that you can actually come and speak to us about anything. So please don't hesitate to get in touch, and try and prepare yourself for, you know, maybe create a little checklist or something of things you want to bring with you, making sure you register with a GP, making sure you register with us, all that sort of thing, so that you can feel safe and secure and sort of ready to start your degree. Yeah.
And one final question. As a parent, I am a parent. What if, as a parent, you've got a bit of apprehension and you're not quite sure, you know, you don't want to step on anybody's toes? Are you open to sort of chat to parents at all?
Yeah, the university actually have something called nominated person consent. So if a student opts into that, it means that if a parent or the student, it works both ways, have any welfare concerns or anything like that, they can get in touch with us and we can discuss that. So I wouldn't want anyone to worry that they can't get in touch with us. We will always take those sorts of things on board. So yeah, absolutely, parents can get in touch.
That's lovely.
The team is amazing. I can honestly say that Rebecca and the team are absolutely accessible, friendly. They provide support for everyone, whether it be, as Emily S. is asking, for mental health support, or just a chat if you're not having a good day. I hope you can see from meeting Rebecca that she is fabulous, and she and the team are really great. So hopefully that reassures everyone. And Rebecca, thank you for spending time with us, and especially on a Saturday, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon.
That's all right. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Emma. Thanks, Ellie.
Thanks, Rebecca. Thank you. We're now moving across to another Emma, which seems a bit weird when I'm introducing an Emma, but this one is this is Emma Dovey, and Emma is in charge of sort of admissions. So we have had lots of questions, Emma, already about, I'm sure you've been keeping up with the chat. Do you want to just introduce yourself and what you do?
Yeah, so I have seen there's quite a few admissions sort of questions already. Yeah, so I work in the admissions department. So we deal with all students' applications as they come in through UCAS. So we're your first point of contact, really. And then we respond to students with their offers if they're looking to get an offer with us.
Thank you. And there's been lots of questions, so I'm going to just pick the first one up around EPQs. There seems to have been a lot of questions this morning, and I was in a school yesterday and lots of people were asking me about EPQs. So can we kick off with, do the University of Lincoln accept EPQ as part of their application?
Absolutely, we do. It's commonly accepted across most of our programmes. There may be some ones that don't accept EPQ, but that should be covered on our course pages. Each course page does detail what the entry requirements are for each course. So if anybody's unsure about their course that they're doing, if it's accepted, then they can always check on our course pages. And if anybody's doing a qualification that they're not sure about, they can absolutely get in touch with us, and you can see our email scrolling across the bottom as well. So we're always happy to help and take any questions.
And that is probably the most important thing you could do before you go to your subject talk, is write down that phone number and email. And if you've got any questions, get in touch with our amazing admissions team. We've said a number of times throughout this morning that we are blessed with the colleagues we work with, and admissions are absolutely up there. They're the most supportive, helpful team. Emma, you've read the questions this morning. Are there any things you specifically want to mention whilst you're here?
I think there's been some questions about interviews as well. So some of our subjects do interview, and there's as soon as we receive your application, if it is a subject that interviews, we will forward your application onto the school, and they will be in contact pretty quickly to get an interview arranged with you. Again, some do portfolio reviews, and that's all handled by the school. And then once we get their sort of review, that's when we get in contact with the students about what their offer will be.
That's amazing. We've got other questions in here about AS levels. So do we accept AS levels? Jack's asked, and I think Abby has asked that as well.
So we do accept AS levels, absolutely. The only thing to bear in mind with AS levels is that we don't count AS levels. So if we're counting an AS level, it does have to be in a different subject to your A level for it to be counted towards the tariff for your offer.
No, that's great. And top tips for anyone sort of making their application at the moment, Emma, what would your top tips be?
I think certainly do your research. So there's two really important things to consider, and one of those things is the university itself, and the city that you're going to be living in, and that's setting you up for the rest of your life, really. So it's not just about the 3 years, it's about going forward. And do your research into the city, do your research into your university. There's lots of university websites out there. Do that research first. Even make a visit if you can, because really visiting a city and the campus is so important. So if you are able to do that, then that's even better. And then secondly is the course. So do your research on your course. If you can look at what is it that interests you, check out the course pages. You can check out UCAS as well. They have a wealth of information available.
And how much of that should be included in the application, Emma?
So it's important that you get, as part of your application, it's important that you get your qualifications listed right, because that's what we will make your offer based upon. But also included within that is your personal statement. So in your personal statement, you can talk about why you're interested in that subject and what makes you passionate about that subject as well. So it's a chance to really sell yourself, and we do consider everybody's application as a whole, which includes your personal statement, your reference, and your qualifications.
That's true. We look at all applications in the round, and we aim to bring the very best students here to Lincoln, and that's based on everything you do, your volunteering work, your other activities outside of school and college. We want to know a little bit about you. And I'm going to ask other Emma, who regularly does a talk on how to complete that personal statement, what your tips would be.
My first tip is that you sort of watch the amazing Gareth Oliver at 11:25, who will give you a brief overview of everything that you need to include. But yes, you're right. I was speaking to hundreds of students yesterday, literally about their personal statement. And what I sort of said to them is, universities are looking for inquiring minds. So we want students that are interested in the subject. We want students that have inquiring minds and are interested in all sorts of things. We don't just want, we want real individuals at university. That's what it's all about.
It's very different to school. At school, you receive knowledge, you take in knowledge, and you put it back out. Whereas at university, what we want is critical thinking, and we train you to be a critical thinker. We get you involved in a subject, you learn to solve problems, and you create new knowledge. It's one of the really exciting things we do here at Lincoln. We do a scheme called Student as Producer, which is very much about students being engaged in the production of research and knowledge. It means we're very hands-on, very practical based. So in our science subjects, you'll be hands-on with electron microscopes from year one and all these kinds of exciting things. So it's a different kind of working, and that's what we want to see, that you're excited by your subject. And also, I know that the subject talks are going on at the same time as the personal statement talk. Everything is recorded. You'll find it all on the open day page all day. And then later on our on-demand page, like Amazon and Netflix, we are on demand. So Emma, they can find out lots more about us then, can't they?
They certainly can. And just to flag, we have got a 1 minute warning to your subject sessions. So if you are interested, thank you very much, Darren. Just like by magic, we have a helpful sort of click. If you can click onto open another tab, or if you're already on the website, then scroll down and click onto your subject where you can find out about the course. And just as Emma said, get those course entry requirements, do your research, make sure that you are applying for the right course.
Emma, it's been lovely to meet you and to hear about admissions. You guys are amazing. If you have questions, ring them and ask them because they're so helpful. You were brilliant when my stepson was coming through. I was so grateful for all the help you gave. It was brilliant. So I know firsthand how good you are. Have a fabulous day and thank you for joining us, Emma, and we'll see you later.
See you later.
Have a lovely day. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Emma, co-host, we've had a brilliant morning, haven't we?
We have, yeah. So we will, I know that some people will be going off now to their subject sessions, and that's quite rightly so. But actually, if you want to hang along and actually watch and find out about real student life from Darren, on our alumni who we've met earlier, and also from Jay, who is a current history student, then this is where you need to be.
And Varsha, just to answer, some of the subject sessions are on Microsoft Teams. Some of them are on StreamYard, same as this. So they're all different. Go onto the website, everyone. The website is beneath us in the feed. Type that into the tab. As Emma said, scroll down, find your subject, click on it, and that will take you into the subject session. You'll meet other students. You'll meet the academic leads for these areas. And there are some amazing academics running live sessions today. So take advantage, go and watch, or stay here and meet Darren and Jay, who are just about to join us, aren't they, Ems?
They are. They're going to kick us out because they're going to talk all they're going to be really cool and hip, aren't they? And
they're going to be youth. They're going to be youth, Emma, and we're dreadfully old.
Make me feel very old. So
no, not at all.
So we shall go, Darren, and leave it over to you and ask Jay any questions you have. He is amazing. So he's a current student here, and I think you're a second year student, Jay, are you?
Third year.
Third year.
Just finished on Thursday.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sophia, as well. Thanks, Sophia. It's really nice when people say thank you. You just hope that you're answering the right questions, really. So we hope you had a nice time with me and Emma. And we say goodbye and hand you over to the student and the alumnus, Darren and Jay, the most amazing, fantastic. Have a brilliant time. Thank you very much for
spending later.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you, guys. Bye. Bye. Well, Jay, let's start by doing proper introductions. We're here for 10 minutes and then we're off to a personal statements talk. But let's start with me. So I studied film and television. I do lots of sort of live stream production stuff now, which is probably why if you've been to Upper Holder events or other things like that, you'll have seen my face around. But I did film and TV, graduated in 2014, which is why we have Jay. Jay, you tell us what you studied. I know we know what year you're in already, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so like I said, third year history student. So that's been really cool. Joined in 2018. I'm planning on doing a master's in medieval studies next year. So hopefully, if obviously any of these guys watching are coming, you might see me around. And yeah, other than that, I'm the president of swimming. Not really academic, but something to add into it.
Brill. Well, I think we're going to talk to you in a little bit about societies and stuff because I know you heavily involved in them and you can be able to tell people a little bit more about them.
Happily.
Excellent. Well, let's start by where students going to be at the minute. They're going to be maybe thinking about joining us 21 or 2022. They're going to be nervous. They're going to be excited, maybe a little bit more one way or the other. But just put people's mind at rest. You know, me and you, Jip, we were in the same boat. We had different experiences when we applied. But when I was applying, I was the first person in my family. I was quite nervous. But there's so much support here to help you. There's a wellbeing team that will help you. And then in terms of making friends, which we'll talk about in a second, there's lots to bear in mind. But what were you like when you were at this stage, Jane?
Yeah, I was a bit half off. I was a bit half off. I was joining the year I went, so like I know you yourself, Darren, was quite on it. A lot of it, like really, really on it and going to everything. And I was completely opposite. I was going to kind of bits and bobs to make sure I wasn't behind, but nothing like attending any of these, just because I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And so really, I just made sure that I kind of like ticks every box. So like I made sure I applied and made it so that I could make the decision, the informed decision that I wanted to make when I wanted to, and didn't feel rushed. And I think the best thing to take away from it is because, like I said, I won't lie, I'm quite a chilled person. It was quite. I wasn't too fussed. Whatever happened. But I feel like if anybody does have any anxiety about it, just Google things. The SU website, get in touch with people. Things like societies, for example. I get emails even now about people wanting to join, and you just answer people, just help out. Everyone at this university wants to help and will with whatever they can do. So really, my main advice for that is just get involved, and you've got to get involved. Just get in touch with people as best you can. Once you've applied, done them bits and bobs, if there's any other queries, just ask people. And just everyone's loving and wanting to help us. Everyone's seen these. Everyone who's been on these calls has been so lovely and helpful that everyone's only an email away at Lincoln.
Yeah, completely agree. Great piece of advice, actually, straight from the off. Just to get in touch with people, and that will put your mind at rest. One thing you can do now, actually, is comment any questions you've got for myself and Jay. It could be anything about student life, so where the best place to get food from is, what's the nightlife like, anything at all like that. Let us know, or even better, just comment what course you're going to be applying for or have applied for, and hopefully you'll meet other people who have applied for the same course and make some connections. So please do that, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. And one question we always get, Jay, is how do you make friends before going to university? So we'll talk a little bit about making friends when you're at uni in a second, but before, there's a couple of things you can do. What was the sort of stuff that you were doing, Jay?
So again, because I was saying I was a little bit behind, I kind of only really started to realise that I actually needed to find out who people were. Yeah. Like I said, my whole prep for uni was done in the last week. I realised, oh my God, there's a life to university. I need to find out what it is. And so I think the best thing for me was just Facebook. Obviously, everybody's on Facebook nowadays normally. So the best thing is, I think I was added to a course chat that just everybody was in, and then from them chats kind of like we all started to go in like apartments and then flats, and it kind of went from there. But just find out who's in your apartment or your court or whatever, just because of this, that you find out who's in your apartment, that could be like 12 odd people, and then you find out in your court that expands to about 40 odd people. There will be people in there that you will be friends with, have share similar interests, and for me that was my main thing is the Facebook. But I know, Darren, you was on about there's a new thing that Lincoln have got. Was it the Friends for Life, is it?
Yeah, it's a relatively new thing. Well, we've been running it for the past few years, and basically everything that you said that you did, Jay, we make it a lot easier for you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a unique thing we do at Lincoln, and the way it works is if you head over to this link, which I will put on screen now, head over there. There you can subscribe, you can sign up to our Friends for Life scheme, and basically what we do is we just help connect applicants with each other before they arrive. So we create the official accommodation groups, the official subject groups, and once you sign up, you tell us that information, and then we invite you to those groups once they're set up. So well in advance of you arriving, you can find who you're going to be studying your course with, you can find out who you'll be sharing a flat with as well, which is really important. And you can use this time on the run up to actually joining to make those relationships. And when you come to uni, you won't feel half as nervous because you'll already have a pal there already. And we do various things on interests. So you tell us your interests when you sign up, and we help connect you via those. So like Jay, if you're a fan of swimming, we'll connect you with other people who are a fan of swimming. So definitely worth a look if you can check out that link below after this stream, or just return afterwards and check it out after today's event. But when you are at university, there's lots of ways. When you meet your flat for the first time, you might need to break the ice a little bit. there's a lot of ways you can do that. There's a lot of sort of ways you can build your bond with them, like flat meals and going out and stuff. But Jay, what would you recommend for any students who arrive in this year or next year and want to just kind of prepare for meeting new people and wanting to build relationships with them?
Yeah, so obviously, if everyone gets involved in that Friends for Life things, they should already know who the people are that they're getting involved with. And I must say, like, from a student perspective, it sounds so good, so helpful. But no, so I think it's quite hard to advise people on what to do because obviously everyone's different. Some people go out drinking, some people go out food. So just do something you all enjoy, something that everyone's going to feel comfortable with and feel in a nice environment. And then really my main advice would just be get involved. Everyone's in the exact same boat. I know you probably felt the same that I felt. You feel so nervous when you're in that, just sat, when your parents leave and you stood in your room, you're just like, what do I do now? And everyone's in the same position. So honestly, when you feel that sense of just like anxiety, just go outside, go see the people that you live with, because half the time, everyone else is just waiting for that one person just to break the ice. And so just be that person, just get stuck in because nobody else is going to do it for you. And honestly, even though it might feel nerve-wracking, just get involved, guys. Like it is really, really nice and easy once you just really be yourself and people will follow at the end of the day. Don't try and fake anything. Just be yourself, get involved, talk, and you'll be fine, guys.
Yeah, completely agree. As long as you're comfortable and happy,
definitely
come your way. And I think we were talking the other day, and that you kind of said you've got your flatmate family, you've got your course family, and then society is the next one. If you're struggling to make friends in various ways, or maybe you just want to make more friends or be more social, or just get active or do something that you're interested in, societies are an amazing way of doing that. And you can actually check out all the list of societies that the Lincoln Students' Union have at the link below. We have must be well over 150. We've got sports clubs, teams, we've got all sorts of stuff. I'll not reel them off now, but check out that link below. Jay, I know you're the president of the Swimming Society. Tell us about that and how that came about.
Yeah, so yes, on the president, I was treasurer last year. I think I'm going to go for treasurer this year, just have a little bit less to do with the Masters. And yeah, and I think my story with the society, I think, is so good, especially for the making friends thing, is because I joined a little bit late. Missed the first social, kind of weren't properly involved that much. For the first term, I didn't really know where I fit in with it all. But then now I'm the president, I now run it, and there really is how it really is how you can build yourself up through societies. And I think that every time we do these sessions and everything to do with open days, I push society so much because I know people that they despise their flat for whatever reason. They were big party animals, or they just went home a lot, so they were always alone. Societies are that escape and to make other friends. You can literally like you said, don't have a second family with these other group of people, and they're just great. And I know you can make your own society, so that's also a really positive thing you can do. And just a society is one thing, and then really, guys, if you are interested in a committee position, is just great. Something to great in your CV, great actually doing things. You feel like you're doing something in the society. You're helping run it. You're making an environment feel nice for students. And like I said, with being a pres, it's just really, really nice and really helpful, and felt accomplished. I think that's the greatest way to say it. Felt accomplished. Like when you actually do something, something goes right. You put an event on that's really good. You do books that societies get involved with. It's a natural competition, and sorting all that and seeing everybody feel as comfortable as I did in first year. It's just really, really nice. So very much push societies. Swimming next year, guys. Anyone wants to get involved? Sports societies, honestly, they are the best thing out of university. I'd say they're brilliant.
Awesome, love it, thank you. I think the way you described it the other day was like it's like a family as well, which was it's a really lovely way of putting it, actually, which is true. And we're running a little bit behind. We will get to Gareth's personal statements talk very, very soon, but last couple of questions, because there's really important advice. What should people start thinking about buying and packing? I always think something like a card game or something to break the ice with your flatmates. But we were talking to a student the other day who said, bring something that's like reminds you of home or smells like home, which is genius because it will make you feel much more comfortable when you're in this brand new environment. So yeah, that's a really good couple of pieces of advice there. But what would you bring, Jay?
Yeah, I think something homely, something to make you feel comfortable in the room. I was the complete opposite. My room looked like a prison cell. I just didn't put anything up. But slowly, but obviously I didn't really have no anxiety, so I wasn't too fussed. But I know loads of people, had nice toys and smells, like you said, Dara. So that was really great. My only thing, a good pair of headphones. You don't ever need to get a taxi in Lincoln or really drive if you don't have a car or you don't feel like you want to. You can walk everywhere. So my main advice: a good pair of headphones. Save you in the library. Save you if any of your housemates are being loud. And yeah, just brilliant when you walk around.
Yeah, brilliant advice actually. And just to finish up as well, for those coming to Lincoln and just wondering what there is to do, I think you heard from Ryan earlier. There's so much to do. Lincoln's got a really good nightlife, a huge range of sort of bars and things to do, whether you like drinking or don't like drinking, all sorts of stuff to do. The SU run a lot of their own venues and on campus, including the Engine Shed, which have comedians and bands and all sorts of stuff to do. So if you do come to Lincoln, I'm sure you won't be bored at all. And plus, you can always join the Swimming Society as well. They seem very welcoming and open to new members. But we will have to pass it on to Gareth very shortly. But any final advice from you, Jay?
Other than societies, that obviously big advocate for, I'd say just get involved, guys. Like I said, everyone's in the same position. Get stuck in. Just do whatever you want. If you feel like you want to go to one side team, do another one. Do both. See what you like more. If you want to go out with a random group of people and do something you don't really do, and go out and do it. University is a time to do stuff and to find yourself. I think it's a bit cringy when people say it, but it's true. I think university really does make you. So just get involved, get stuck in, really enjoy the experience, because you can never get your first year back or even your first 2 years back, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, completely agree. That's brilliant. Well, thank you, Jay, very much for all of.
Cheers for having me.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. I guess I would just say, finally, if you did want to learn a bit more about the university, follow us on social media, do your research, check out our videos on YouTube or the website. We've got all sorts of stuff that will give you an idea of what we look like and what we're about, really. And we have physical virtual open days hopefully happening in July, which you can go onto the website and book, or book onto physical tours. Or if you want to get involved in some of our weekly live lounges we have, which are weekly live streams, and we've got Chris Packer coming up eventually. We've got Caroline Duffy, the former Point Laureate. She's next Tuesday as well at 5 p.m. She'll be streaming on our Facebook page. So all sorts of stuff you can do to get involved. But let's introduce Gareth, so people stay tuned if you want to learn all about how to write a really good personal statement. Hi, Gareth.
Hello. Can you hear me? All right. Yep. Okay.
Very good. Very good.
Good. It's all been very impressive so far. Really, it always falls to me to finish off, though. So, and it will be just me, which will be interesting, because you've had lots of people talking and chatting, and but this time to finish off, it will just be me talking through the personal statement. So I won't be talking to anybody else, but I'm ready to crack on.
Brilliant. Well, as always, you'll be firing out lots of advice and information, and to make
equally, if anybody's got any questions as I go through, pop them in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer them when I get to the end.
Excellent. Well, thank you again, Jay. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Stay tuned for Gareth, and we'll leave you to it, Gareth.
Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
Cheers. So, so I'm the Schools and Colleges Liaison Manager here, and I am very much going to be talking to you and talking through the personal statement and what to put in it, but also what not to put in it. But before we look at the statement itself in detail, as Emma said in her talk, Emma Dovey, we also consider very much the complete application, and it is a process that we go through, and the personal statement is part of that. So when we receive your application, basically what we're going to look at initially is, do you have the right grades and in the right subjects? If we're happy with that, then we will look at the personal statement, and what we're looking for is a really strong personal statement, but then the academic reference that backs that personal statement up, and it should very much reflect you as a person writing that statement and applying and reinforce what you have put into your statement and your application. So that's the sort of process that you go through, and you don't need to and want to leave it too late, because rushed applications are very much obvious where people have left it too late. So don't be in that situation. Make sure that you give yourself plenty of time to do your personal statement and your complete application as a whole. So look into the statement itself. Just how important is it? Well, the general rule of thumb for any course which requires an interview is that it's very important. For these courses, it tends to be the statement that is used in the selection process. For everyone else, it is still important, as it gives the university their first impression of you as a student and whether you're likely to make a good candidate for an offer. So I would always say, write your personal statement as though it's going to be for a selective or competitive course, because you never know if the universities that you're applying to, just one of those, that course is competitive with them, so you might be asked for an interview. So bear that in mind. Always write it as though you're going to write it for a selective, competitive situation. So how big is the statement? There is a minimum. The minimum is 1,000 characters with spaces, up to a maximum of 4,000 characters with spaces, or 47 lines of text. I would always recommend that you write it in Word first, because Word will spell check it and grammar check it for you. And it will also give you a rough character count. However, it doesn't have to be bang on 4,000 characters. If you've written 3,500 characters and you are satisfied with your statement and your tutors or teachers at school or college are satisfied as well, then that's fine. However, if you want to write a little bit more, write a little bit more, but it doesn't have to be bang on 4,000. Equally, the character limit set by UCAS, that 4,000 limit, is non-negotiable. If you write any more, basically when you drop it into the text box for UCAS, it will just cut it off at 4,000 characters mid-sentence. No problem whatsoever as far as UCAS is concerned. So on a regular basis, if you are writing it in Word, just drop it into the text box area, simply because the formatting is different for UCAS. So it will give you an indication of whether it is okay, whether you can add a little bit more if you want to, or you've got too much and you need to take something out. So what makes a good one? A good personal statement? As admissions tutors generally, as a rule of thumb, tend to initially skim read a statement, open with a strong section to grab their attention. You want it to go on the potentially read further pile rather than reject pile. However, if you do struggle with getting that opening section written, don't panic, leave it and come back to it. At least 50%, if not more, of your statement should be devoted to the subject that you're interested in, showing the passion you have for that subject and how you got that passion. Because admissions tutors have those passions. The academics that will teach you have that. So that's what they're looking for in a student. Depending as well on the subject you want to be studied, don't forget that work experience or job experience might be relevant. If it is, make sure that you fully evaluate that experience. It really should be no more than about 25% of the statement though. So the bulk of it is the passion. If you need more to explain about your work experience, again, that should be no more than about 25%. It's also useful to give indications of career aspirations and long-term goals. It shows both that you've done the research on the course, but also the research into the career pathways that you could take and how the course will potentially get you there. And make sure you finish with a strong conclusion. Just 1 or 2 lines bringing together everything that you've written above in your personal statement. What you don't want to see written down and what tutors don't want to see is things like, and as I have seen this actually on a personal statement, I do hope you enjoy reading my personal statement. That is not a conclusion. So conclusion, reinforcing everything that's gone above. So that's really what goes into a good one. So what are the common issues that crop up in a statement on a regular basis? Firstly, making the statement too diverse. Thinking about what you're applying for. If you're applying for courses that are too diverse, for instance, say you're interested in criminology, but you're also interested in fine art, so you're trying to write a personal statement about both of these areas because that's what you're applying for, you can't do it. It makes it a pick and mix approach. Neither will universities like it either, because basically, potentially half the statement is going to be irrelevant to that admissions tutor. And it makes a student look indecisive and uncommitted. In the end, you're only going to go for one course. So make your mind up at the start and focus on that in your personal statement. Targeting a particular university by name in that statement is also not a good idea, unless you're only applying to that university and that university alone. Other universities will see this and draw their own conclusions from that you've written about how likely you are to want to study with them if you're naming other universities in your statement. If you did a summer school or other such event at university, for instance, and really liked it and you want to use that in your personal statement, say things like, I attended a university summer school or something similar, rather than using the name of that institution. Paragraphs as well are important. Avoid the wall of text effect. Otherwise, you may appear insufficiently literate to know how to use paragraphs to the very people who will be marking your academic work in the future. Likewise, correct spelling, punctuation, and grammar is vital for the same reason as paragraphs. These people want to mark your work, and make sure that you use Word or similar to write it first, as I've said already, rather than straight into the statement area of UCAS, because Word will check it for you and give you a good idea. Don't use cliches and metaphors. Lighting fires or sparks ever since you were young have all been used 1,000 times. It really doesn't impress any more than anything else that you're thinking about that you think will reinforce your application. What you think is exciting and original really is likely not to be so. So aim for a plain, clear, and simple writing style, because this is what will help you and the admissions tutor to understand what you're wanting and to pick out the bits that they're looking for. Quotes are another bone of contention as well, as many students just insert a quote or start their statement with a quote, trying to impress the admissions tutor. But then they'll not back it up with any substance as to why they've used it. If you don't do this, it becomes irrelevant and it just wastes space. If applying for an academic course as well, tutors will not really be interested in any extracurricular activities or work experience and part-time jobs. What they're interested in is that passion for the subject and how good you are at your specialism, not just, I'm a really well-rounded student, look what I've done. That will be developed when you get to university. However, if you're applying for a vocational course, then it is about the relevant experience. So certainly at Lincoln, if you're applying for NHS courses, that we offer particularly, we are very much looking at the work experience that you have gained prior to coming to us and how relevant you understand what it leads on to. So you'll need to thoroughly reflect and evaluate all that work experience and how it relates to what you want to do. It's no good as well writing things like, I enjoyed a month-long placement in a care home. That tells us nothing. It has to be reflection and evaluation. So expand on it if you're going to tell us about it. Equally as well, don't link waste space really linking other A-levels to the subject you're applied for unless they are relevant. Every A-level student does this. So doing this will not really make you stand out. Forcing a connection, say, between sociology and a degree that you want to do in graphic design is just a waste of space. And it demonstrates that maybe you don't have anything else relevant to think about and talk about in relation to the course. Again, things like listing titles of books that you've read or programs that you've watched on television waste space unless you follow it up with evaluation and relevance to the subject. However, if it's a literature-based course that you're going for, or creative writing or something similar, then it could very much demonstrate an enthusiasm for reading beyond the syllabus. But it's got to be in a structured way, again, reflecting what you've gained from it. Taking a gap year. If you're out there watching this and you're thinking, I'm going to take a gap year, that's fine. But if you're going to take a gap year, again, tell the tutor why you're doing it. Why are you taking that? Is it a chance to reflect? Is it a chance to gain experience? What is it for? Tell us. Don't assume your grades as well will do the talking, because they're going to be much higher than the minimum required. Admissions tutors are looking for that strong statement, regardless of whether you're a student that just hits the minimum tariff or you're far exceeding it. Grades don't just tell them that you're a suitable student. It's your personal statement and your academic reference that will do that. So don't let your grades do the talking. There are other things as well to remember and take on board. Deadlines is one particularly. Deadlines will be set both internally by your school or college and UCAS as an external deadline set. But deadlines shouldn't be treated as targets. Work well within the capacity for your sake and for your teachers and support networks, because once you've sent your application off and submitted it, the teachers then have to submit and put in their academic reference. They do not want to be burning the midnight oil on the day before the deadlines set by UCAS. And equally, don't leave it too late, because as I've said before, last-minute jobs will be obvious to us. You can't really, and I've very rarely seen as well, a statement written at one go. I've seen people with drafts 9 and 10 of statements before they're happy for it. So multiple drafts are fine. Don't panic about that. Don't be a know-it-all either. Don't try and tell the admissions tutor what they already know. You haven't been fascinated by a subject since a very early age. Most 5-year-olds, for instance, have no idea what forensic psychology is all about. So talk about your passion rather than telling them what you think they need to know. Admissions tutors want somebody who is going to learn, not somebody who claims to know it all. They really, really don't. So just think about the way that you write this. Also, the personal statement is not a place to explain for you what went wrong. It should be a statement of enthusiasm for the course that you're embarking on, or hopefully embarking on, and a demonstration and a positive demonstration of interest, not an apology for not doing well in the past. Ask yourself, if you're writing that, if I was an admissions tutor, would you take somebody on with this attitude? So just think about it. It's all about positivity. So any claims for mitigating circumstances must go in your academic reference, and understand the support that your academic reference is giving you in relation to that. It will certainly carry more weight if it's coming from an independent source. Get others to read your statement. Certainly, as I've said, multiple drafts. Most people, when they write their statement to start with, write it as though they're going to read it. And they're not. Somebody they don't know is going to read it. So read it out loud to a member of your family or your teacher, just to see if it makes sense to them. If it doesn't make sense to them, then you can pretty much guarantee it's not going to make sense to an admissions tutor either. So it should be clear and obvious why you want to do the course, would be good at it, and make it easy for the tutor to understand why you're telling them. That's what we're looking for. Don't cheat. Really, really don't cheat. UCAS use copycat software to check the statement when it goes off. If more than 10% is an exact match, which is with what is held on their own database and also in their cached Google area, it sends it back to the student. The student has to do something about that, but equally, the universities that those students are applying to are also told that it's been sent back due to potential plagiarism. The universities will then make their own judgment as to whether to offer that student a place, regardless of how much or how good they appear in that statement or everything else that supports it. And finally, understand and remember this. The bottom line really, really is, when you're writing the statement, why this course and why should you consider me for it? If you can have that in the back of your mind when you're doing this, and you can crack that, you're sorted. Thanks for listening, and I hope you found it useful.